Hi everyone, I'm Wøllo. I used to be known as Jester Valley. Welcome to my very first vlog, by the way. I had some things I wanted to talk about, especially because this is like the start of my transgender journey. There's been a lot of stuff in my mind thinking about like my life, the state of the world, trauma, ADHD, friends, family, blood family, found family. Well, I don't know where I'm going with that. I've been seeing a bunch of therapists and talking about like myself, my trauma, my thoughts and feelings, and my transition goals. And I've done a lot of studying at home with like psychology, basically. I have ADHD, and that's been kind of very interesting to deal with. I have meds for it now, and it's like I have superpowers, so that's why I'm here now. Hello. But anyway, ADHD is weird because it is actually a physical disability, and so having the meds is essentially like having a wheelchair. So now I have superpowers, like I said, or did I say that? I forget already. I have ADHD. Anyway, been talking to like therapists and the doctor about it, and like what drives them, because it's been very interesting for me, like learning all that I can about ADHD and like how that affects my life and how it affects other lives and kind of how it affects the world as a whole. Like I think about rich people, the oligarchs, shareholders and companies, how they're all driven by like, oh, short-term profits. We can't plan long-term. We need all the money now. My thoughts on that are that it's like, it's almost like it's ADHD driven. It's like an ADHD driven mentality.
Editor here. It's the short-term dopamine hits.
These people are just kind of on the loose, unmedicated. It sucks. Plus, they just don't have any empathy. But, like, I feel sorry for them that they don't. And they're just fucking lonely people.
More editor thoughts. The pain that they feel internally is greater than what other people can see physically. And it's hard to trust that they are receiving the karma that they should be receiving. I think to a degree they are being punished by themselves in their mind because of how lonely they are and how other people treat them. And I see this in my dad too, because outwardly he seems nice at first, but as soon as the first infraction happens or he runs out of patience, he will change to a more patronizing tone. And his punishment is reflected every day in his thoughts, because I know he wonders why his child doesn't talk to him. And so he'll either figure it out or he won't. And I bet that's the loneliest thought in the world.
Other thoughts I've had. Oh, by the way, so the name extension _TMO, that stands for Trans Mind Online. It is, well, I guess it's my brand, but I kind of lifted it from MechWarrior Online. And like I'm big into like psychology. I really wish I could go to college, and I have thoughts on that too. I wish I could go to college and get my master's degree in psychology, because I really want to help people. There's so many ways I wish I could help people. I wish I could be like, if I could snap my fingers right now, I would be an anthropologist, psychologist. Like I would love to do research on like society, because I see like patterns now. I see patterns of throughout history of how trauma and decisions have affected people for generations and generations. And like one of like the deep thoughts I've had is like, who the fuck invented money and why? Because like I get like bartering is a thing. Like, hey, if you give me X amount of bear skins, I'll give you X amount of corn. But like money itself, yeah, sure, it's easy to put, or it's easy to just put like a number value on things. But like we see it's growing out of fucking control. I wonder a lot if people before the collapse of Soviet Russia were thinking and saying the same things as their goddamn economy inflated into infinity. I mean, if you're inflated bigger than I am, you've got problems. But yeah, who the fuck invented money and why? I wonder if it's like two people were talking and one person said, oh hey, I promise I'll give you this. And then they didn't. There was some kind of betrayal, or maybe there was an accident. And so the person who was betrayed like misunderstood and said, well, I'm gonna fucking invent money and then invent contracts so people can't betray me again. But I think of how awful that scenario might have been if it was a completely and honest mistake and the rest of the world is shit up a creek because of a stupid mistake somebody made. But yeah, no, somebody's fucking decision tens of thousands of years ago, somebody fucked it up. And I think a lot about, especially nowadays with the technology that we have, the capabilities that we have to like sustain lifestyles, to build housing, to automate jobs and other things. And I think a lot about trains in terms of this. Where I'm going with this is I'm thinking about, what if you brought all of the train enthusiasts and autistic people together in one place and gave them housing, food, transportation to get there, God, yes, 3 fingers, and healthcare. You gave them all the basic necessities and said, hey, number 5, here's all the resources to build trains. I want you to build trains fucking everywhere. Have fun. Could you imagine, like, if everyone who wanted to work on a project were able to come together and work on the project and get it done? We could have trains everywhere. But I think of that in terms of, like, everything. Farming, computer software, networking, pilots, air traffic control. Like, there are people who are legitimately interested in doing these things. And, like, yeah, give them the training and the education and the resources, the house, the transportation to be able to do what they want. People aren't just inherently fucking lazy. Constantly, I find myself wondering and begging, like, God, please give me training just to do this. I want to be a helicopter rescue pilot. If I were to have, like, my way, like, snap my fingers, become the psychologist, I would retire and be a helicopter rescue pilot. I play so many simulator games. I used to fly IRL, too, when my dad was a private pilot. We flew, like, Cessna 152 and a 172. And I was so short, like, I learned how to fly IFR first. And then I grew tall enough to fly VFR. So, yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun. And that shit has stuck with me. Because I play VTOL VR. God, I want to set up a VR streaming rig one of these days. But that'll be a lot of time and money. But then, like, also, like, DCS. And then, like, Arma 3, I'm my unit's best pilot. Yeah, just everything. Hi, beep beep. I am the beep now. Anyway, I guess a little bit more about me and video games. I spent most of my college years playing MechWarrior Online. I think it was 2014 is kind of, maybe 2015 is when I picked it up. Peak MechWarrior years was 2016, and I think all the way up to 2018 was when it was at its peak. It was formerly a drop caller for the Beefs unit in 2016. God, that was a lot of fun. We were the best inner sphere unit in the game. And then come 2018, we went into MRBC as the Salty Samurai. And we took Division B first place. And they said, come back next year. You play in Division A. And we're like, no thanks. Thank you for the memes. Bye. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, like, we were kind of a ragtag band of individuals. And we would have gotten crushed in Division A. MWO is a dying game now. It's kind of sad. I think it is very reflective of the corporate life cycle of games. Because you see Destiny dying. That one is definitely a corporate shareholder game. MWO Piranha Games was also acquired by corporate interests. I think it was E7, but a couple years ago. And now PGI is just constantly laying off developers. And then you look at like Warframe, which is more community oriented. And the work Rebecca Ford has done, how strong that's going. I see the patterns, I see the comparisons. It really sucks. Because even Rebecca commented on like how big of a shock it is to see Destiny dying and the effect corporate greed has had on it. I feel like MechWarrior had a lot of potential. I've actually seen that potential. I play that potential. I still play a lot of MechWarrior Living Legends. That game's still alive. It's a standalone launcher now. You don't need Crisis Wars. Yes, I'm going to shell it. But yeah, it's running on the demo version of Crisis Wars, so now it's completely free. There's a Discord for it, and we'll ping people like when people want to play, and then we can get like a bunch of people into a server, pick up to 32 people, and it's the best BattleTech simulator experience you could ever imagine. Because you've got, I know how many times, I can't count how many times PGI has said, oh, information warfare in our MechWarrior Online arena shooter game. No. Living Legends has that shit down pat, because you have C3 Masters, BAP, Bloodhound probes, what else? Guardian ECM, Angel ECM, passive and active radars. And then on top of that, you have the tanks, the hovercraft, the APCs, the battle armor, the VTOLs, the heavy VTOLs, the aerospace fighters. It's a full simulator, and the only thing you don't have is the mech lab, but you get plenty of variants to play with. Like, all the prime variants they've got kind of their prime stock builds for the most part, minus a few exceptions. But the rest of the variants, some of them have pretty interesting roles, and they do change from time to time. The game is still getting updates. It is community run, not corporate. The Steam release is actually on the horizon soon, supposedly at the end of this summer. Right now, the developer is working on UVing the Hunchback and the Hunchback 2C, so that's pretty awesome. I know we got heavy VTOLs last year too. God, I love those. There's so many good things. God, another thing I love about Living Legends is like how the narc system works and the tag system. Because like comparing it to MWO, it's so information warfare. Because you can, if you have active radar, you can aim in any direction with your LRMs or ATMs and just flick the missiles in any direction, and they will home in on the narc or the tag if it's within range. So you can do a lot of corner shooting. You don't need to maintain a lock. You don't need to hold R. You don't need to stare at your opponent. You can have dedicated tag and narc assets out there for you to do artillery business. So like, if you can communicate, especially if you get like a group of friends together, and I guess that's the same thing on MWO. You get a group of friends together, you form a lance, you come up with plans, you can do some major work. The skill ceiling is incredible in both games, honestly. But yeah. Oh god, the other thing. MechWarrior Online added the Arrow 4 missile launcher, and it is so brain dead. And it's very funny watching MWO repeat the same mistakes Living Legends already made and went through. Because like, one of the big things about Arrow is that once you're narked in MWO, you either find cover or you fucking die. Like, a single Naga or longbow is gonna destroy your entire fucking mech. Without even trying. But Living Legends, they invented narc overkill. So as soon as the arrow comes down and like hits your mech, the narc gets destroyed. Same thing with Long Tom. If you're narked and you're hit by Long Tom, that shit gets absolutely destroyed. But you're safe. You're horribly wounded, and you can go back to base to repair. But you're not doomed, and that's nice. Unless you're being tagged. If someone's tagging you, those arrows will home in on your location. Oh, the other thing is like artillery, information warfare. If you have like a C3 asset out there, like a Raven, the Long Tom artillery has a C3 master, and it can see whatever the Raven's C3 sees. And so the artillery operator can just align the gun and keep firing. So you don't even need tag or narc for Long Tom. It's so cool. Oh no, my tracker's dying. Oh, okay, I'll make this short. I guess the last thing I want to say is that the gameplay in Living Legends is different from MechWarrior Online because it's not an arena shooter. There's essentially, well, there's 3 game modes. There's Solaris Arena, where it's a free-for-all. I guess there's also Team Solaris Arena, which is, head-to-head, a skirmish. But the primary game mode where all of the big action is terrain control. And lastly, the last one, Assault. There's only a few maps that do Assault. Those are immaculate. But terrain control, it plays a lot like Conquest from like Battlefield or Battlefront. And there's respawns. And you play from like, the match timer lasts from like 45 minutes to 65 minutes, depending on the map. And there's also respawn tickets. And the amount of control points you control affects the ticket bleed rate. And each asset also has its own like ticket cost. So like losing a Fafnir is like 16 tickets, and losing a harasser is like 1 ticket. And there's also tiers for an entire economy system. You will gain points based on the damage you do and the tier of your asset versus the tier of your target. So if you've got like a harasser with light PPCs and you hit a Fafnir, you'll gain a lot of money. Or if you use like a harasser with like medium X pulse lasers, you're doing a lot of damage, a lot of DPS for a fast firing weapon, and you'll make tons of money. God, there's a Locust with like a Locust 2C with 6 heavy machine guns. That thing's a money printer. People call that one the Federal Reserve. It's really good. I don't know. I fucking love that game. It's everything you could ever want. The only con I would have to say, there's 2 cons. One, the game crashes a lot. It's an old game. There's some bugs. But there is a coder that is working on it, and he has fixed a lot of the bugs. Game crashes less often now. We suffer for the love of the game. And second, It is a low player count. I won't lie to you. It is a bit abysmal. But we do get up to 32 players. And we do get some streamers on occasion. And then we fill the servers and things get nuts. And it's a lot of fun. That's one of my goals for streaming too. It's like I really want to... I love this community. I want to help out. I want to do more. Like my last video with the... it's about sending a Living Legends message. That was my love letter to Living Legends. It's got a good community. Queer friendly too. I love them. I guess that'll be it for my vlog. Yeah. Alright. Thanks for coming. Later.